A former head of the public service is tonight finding it difficult to accept Reginald Amore's excuse for the controversial savings amendment that was inserted into the pension bill.
Despite accepting responsibility, the Attorney General alleged that a public servant included the contentious savings cap of $25,000 into the bill in error. However, former public service head Reynold Cooper believes the main reason the amendment was rejected was due to public backlash. He tells CNC3 News that, from his experience, the AG's explanation of events is not normal practice.
A note of cabinet is normally taken by the minister. A public officer cannot take a note of cabinet, right? But what happens is that the officers will prepare the notes on behalf of the minister and send to the minister. The minister is the one who takes the note of cabinet. So it means that it is the minister's responsibility to go through it to ensure that what is in the note is what the minister wants to present to cabinet.
Meanwhile, political scientist Dr. Bishnu Raghunath said it is obvious there was no error in the bill and the government backtracked due to public pressure. Raghunath said this is a clear case of incompetence from a government that has become careless. He believes the government could not ignore the political fallout that this amendment would have brought.
It points that direction that the government seemingly doesn't care as to what the population thinks. However, yesterday, the reaction was clear that they realized that their supporters would be the most impacted, and to that extent they had no other choice but to backtrack on.
And former Attorney General Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj told CNC3 News that the AG's explanation yesterday does not conform with the procedure as he knew it when he held that office.
Well, the senior citizens pension bill was scrapped after the government claimed a public servant made an error.
Today we asked if you are satisfied with the government's explanation. Here's what she had to say.
I think it had to be a deliberate decision that they made. So something like that can't simply just be taken as a mistake. So somebody had some kind of intention and they probably didn't think it through clearly. And now that the public is making an issue of it, it's now realizing that they did something wrong.
There is a bunch of jokers in that place, man. Yeah, they don't make no sense. No, I don't agree with the explanation given. It's just excuses these people just making, I feel.
I do not agree with the explanation given by the government. Plain reason is that if the opposition leader didn't bring out certain things, none of us would not know anything.
I don't really think I agree with that, because I feel it's something that they want to do.
Nah, I don't agree with that. At the end of the day, look how far I done reach already. That climb all the way to the top of the ladder passed through so much hands and red tape to pull it out now.
The people say.
And the opposition leader isn't letting the Attorney General off the hook so easily. Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar called for AG Reginald Amore to be fired.
Jesse Ramde was at the party's headquarters in Chaguanas, where they are now screening candidates.
Allow me to circle back to a press conference held by the opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar earlier today, a few hours earlier, where she further challenged the position of the Attorney General about the clause inserted in the Senior Citizens Pensions and Public Assistance Bill, which would have disqualified senior citizens with more than $25,000 in their bank account from accessing the pension, allegedly done by a public servant. Now, she questioned how come the clause was not picked up given the detailed procedures involved in introducing a bill to Parliament. She further said that the AG had to be dismissed for this faux pas. She also said had it not been for public pressure, the bill would not have been rescinded. Now, more details about this will, of course, be available in tomorrow's Guardian newspaper.
They're withdrawing, yes, they will withdraw, but you know what they want to do? Just as they will do with the property tax, that's what they will do. Electricity rates, water rates, all the utilities. Win elections and then come back and drop it on the people.
In a major turnaround, the Attorney General announces he'll be withdrawing the controversial pension bill, which would have disqualified people with more than $25,000 in savings from accessing old age pension.
There had been much public uproar when that amendment that looked at pensioners' savings was made public, with stakeholders and economists lamenting that $25,000 cannot be considered enough money to assume the applicant is not deserving of the government grant. But this afternoon, at the Ministry of Social Development, they called a media briefing and the Attorney General admitted that the amendment was inserted in error by who he called someone in the public service and was never intended to be included in the bill that was laid in Parliament. But CNC3 News challenged Reginald Armour on this and asked why the error was not spotted before it was laid in the lower house.
I did not say I did not see it. I said I read the bill, but at the date at which it went to cabinet, I was not in the country. And it is normal that in the absence of a government minister, government continues.
But you would have had someone to fill in for your role, not so? You are appointed an acting Attorney General. Wouldn't the acting Attorney General have to have oversight there?
That's correct. But I'm not pointing any fingers. I take responsibility.
CNC3 News then asked if part of the reason the bill is being withdrawn was due to public backlash over the provision that deals with savings.
No, I am withdrawing it because now that I have looked at it carefully and it was brought to my attention by the cabinet this morning and I did the research, I have satisfied myself that there is an error in the bill and I am going to withdraw it.
Earlier today, the Trinidad and Tobago Association for Retired Persons called the amendment harsh and questioned how the government arrived at the $25,000 cap. Now, this amendment refers to the senior citizens pension grant and not NIS pension. And the opposition leader is tonight wary of the government's decision to withdraw the contentious pension bill.
Today, Mrs. Prasad-Bissessa said she will continue to expose the government, but cautioned citizens to be on guard.
Why is he trying to fool us? You know what's going on with this? They're withdrawing, yes, and they will withdraw, but you know what they want to do? Just as they will do with the property tax, that's what they will do. Electricity rates, water rates, all the utilities. Win elections and then come back and drop it on the people. I claim victory today.
To apply for senior citizens pension, bank details must be submitted, but there is currently no limit in the amount of money an applicant can have in their accounts.
Now, earlier today, we asked if you support the government's move to disqualify people from receiving the old age pension grant based on their savings.
The people
Not at all, because it takes people a long time to save that. I mean, that is just a little amount of money. If you go to the doctor's office, if you don't have $1,000, you're not getting a service done. So I think that is not fair to the citizens of this country. I think it's nothing nice to be saying because we all are old age pensioners, we need the money. That is no kind of money that we can go through. Or a market or a medication. There is no kind of money, so I think that is a wrong thing that they're doing. Look at money they get in. And this come like nothing to them, you know? $100 now come like $1.
No, I do not. It's a very stupid, ridiculous thing for the government to do.
Why?
Because people work hard for the money. When they reach a certain age, they may get sick, so they have a little savings in the bank. That should not disqualify them from getting pension.
No. People need money, everything going up. People need extra money, even when they're old.
No. Basically, you work for all these years, earning your own, and you're paying tax, you're paying VAT for mostly groceries and other things. And I don't find that it's fair enough after you reach a certain age that they're debating on how hard you work that you should not get back.
No. It's not good. So how the poor man would live? How the poor man would live? Eh? Tell me how he would live. And you're getting pension. How you want to rob people? How you rob people? It's just some sad now, you know.
The people say